Hey everyone, welcome to Skincare and Beyond, your go-to beauty podcast that goes deeper than skin deep. Today I'm joined by our lovely customer service and clinic manager, Kimberly, and Phoebe, our assistant brand manager, for the first episode of the Face the Future show. In this new series, we'll be diving into our favourite products, trending topics, and exciting FTF news. So to kick things off, I'm going to ask you both, what are your favourite products at the moment? Phoebe, you want to start?
So one I've been loving recently is the Irina Forte Pistachio Body Oil. So I just think it's great because, you know, it's hydrating. The seasons are changing. We're getting his legs out, his arms out, that sort of thing. So definitely, perfect for this weather transition. Another one I've been loving is I do suffer with hormonal acne around like the chin area. So Allies of Skin do an azelaic acid serum, and oh my gosh, it's amazing. Like, it just helps to soothe and sort of reduce any inflammation and that sort of thing. So when they get really sore, it's really nice. So I use that morning and night, and that was just a great one. In regards to SPF as well, I've been loving the Medik8 Advanced Day Ultimate Protect SPF 50. So with that one, like, it's got hyaluronic acid in, so I use it as a little bit of a 2-in-1. So I use that as like my last layer to hydrate, protect from any environmental factors, you know, any UV rays, that sort of thing. So that's like my last step of my skincare routine every morning, like without fail.
Perfect.
Yeah, and the Irina Forte, the pistachio.
Oh my gosh, it's so good, isn't it?
I love the pistachio face mask, and I use it overnight. I actually used it last night.
Did you?
Just for something like that intensive treatment. So you can either use it and put it on for like 10 minutes, or you can leave it on overnight.
There's quite a few pieces in that range, though. I think that there is like face oil, obviously the mask, there's a lip balm and things like that, and obviously the body oil. But they do have some different, I think they've got a rose one and a sage one for like different things. So the sage one's like muscle restoring and helps like for like massages and things like recovery and that sort of thing. And that's good.
And I actually found out pistachio is an antioxidant.
Yes.
Yeah. Crazy. What are yours?
Mine is, I've got a couple. So the Endocare, the brand new age barrier hyaluronic serum is fab. So I've been using that every single morning. We've got the Caudalie, the firming night cream, the reversatile one. It just feels like it's, I don't know, it's like a gel cream. So it's like really soothing on a night time, but I get like a real glow in the morning, which is fab. And then for me, the SPF HelioCare water gel is my go-to favourite. It's good if you've got an oilier skin, good if you've got really dehydrated skin. Gives you that lovely glow, which is what everybody wants, especially at this time of year.
Yeah.
Mine, actually jumping on your HelioCare there, is a go-to favourite, the HelioCare 360, but the colour
one.
I use the gel oil free and the water gel, so depending on like the time of year, they are like the water gel for more of the winter into spring, and then in the summer I tend to get a little bit more oily. So the gel oil free is really good, just to,
it's a bit more mattifying into it, whereas your water gel gives you a bit more hydration, a bit more of a glow.
And the two different shades as well is a dream, because when I'm a little bit paler in the winter, you can use the beige, and then the bronze when I've got a little bit.
And you can mix them together if you're not quite one or the other.
Yeah, in between.
In between seasons.
And speaking of HelioCare, they are actually one of our supporting brands for our 365 Days of SPF campaign. This year, we're continuing to raise awareness that sunscreen is a year-round commitment.
Yep, definitely.
Not just for the summer seasons, not just when you're on holiday. And it's a necessity for not only protecting against sun damage, but also skin cancer, because that is something that anyone is susceptible to.
And premature aging. 80% of aging is from sun damage. So for everybody, you know, you might as well just protect it. Preventative is better than the cure. So
100%. And it's crazy the amount of people that sort of think that because we live in the UK as well,
that we don't need it.
Yeah, we don't need it because of
still comes through the clouds though, and that sort of thing.
Your UVA is present all year round, 365 days a year, from sunrise until sunset. A lot of people think that the sun is the only thing that obviously will damage. So it's definitely not. It comes through glass. It comes like in your car, like you say, clouds, rain, anything like that. And then also you've got obviously all your blue lights from everybody's on phones, computers, tablets. So obviously you need your protection from that as well. And all your top sunscreens will actually protect you against all of them.
And it's crazy the amount of different rays and UV that can actually damage your skin. So obviously there's UVA, UVB, infrared.
Infrared,
blue light as well.
Yeah.
So they're all different things that can actually damage your skin, and people do just think, oh, the sun's
out, I need to put SPF on.
But UVA, UVB are prevalent
definitely
every day, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah, they all penetrate to different levels in your skin, and that's why they cause different types of damage for like your surface, and obviously deeper into your skin for like your aging ones as well. So, and a lot of it is the damage is done sort of like years before, and it only takes quite a while for it to come out. And then that's why people are then like, oh, all of a sudden, like, what do I do?
Where's this come from?
Yeah, definitely.
And then I guess with our 365 days of SPF campaign, that's what we're trying to do, is educate people on the importance of wearing SPF every day, the importance of premature aging and skin cancer prevention, and just making it more prevalent in people's daily routines as well.
Yeah, it is literally all about education. The more we can sort of shout about it, the more we can obviously explain to people the reasons why you need to use it, and just make it part of their daily routine, just like you would brush your teeth. You just need to apply your sun cream. Yeah, definitely.
But people are doing the skincare routines. Like if you've got a solid skincare routine in place, like it's just one extra step. It's not even 10 seconds to apply it, when in actual fact it could be life-saving. Yeah. Just for that 10 seconds to put your SPF on in the morning.
From being in clinic and customer service, is that I see quite a lot, and I've seen quite a lot in terms of obviously what sun damage has done to people's skin. Not only in terms of obviously is trying to reverse obviously what it's done, but also in terms of catching like skin cancers on quite a few clients that I've had in, and obviously them having to get it removed, use certain creams. And then them having to obviously completely stay out of the sun because of obviously then, fear of it coming back. There's lots of different things out there that people can obviously look at as well to get sort of information out.
Yeah. And as part of our 365 Days of SPF campaign, very exciting, we have actually announced and launched that we are doing our second VAT Burn.
Yes.
So this is where we're removing 20%, which is the cost of VAT from core SPF brands from the first of April.
First of April to the 31st, I think it is.
31st of October.
So
that's obviously a key part of our year, is doing the VAT burn. Obviously last year I think it was so successful and we got so much education out there, and it was really important.
We saw the increase in the sales as well from doing that, because I think it's slightly an incentive for people as well when there is that discount applied, but it's also about spreading that message that SPF is such an essential thing that it should be VAT free, and trying to portray that message to everyone and educate them that it should be a daily essential in your life without even thinking about it. It's so important to have that in there.
And making it more accessible for people to be able to afford it. It doesn't have to be the most expensive SPF, but it does have to obviously the backing that it actually works. And then also to take off then the VAT. There's lots of different SPFs with different budgets. So taking that off just helps a little bit more for people to obviously include into the routine as well, definitely.
And I think that is a key thing when you said about the increase in sales, and then saying making it more accessible. That increase in sales just shows the amount of people that see it's got that 20% off. It is that little bit more affordable.
Definitely.
To be using every day. Obviously, you're going to go through it probably more so than other steps in your skincare routine. Because you are using it every day, reapply it through the day.
I think it needs to be pushed quite a lot as well, in terms of that everyone needs to jump on this, because the more that we can obviously get people talking about it, the more hopefully government might eventually listen and to help then further on the NHS and everything, because obviously of what it can protect people against as well. So hopefully everyone can just sort of jump on it and push.
Definitely. We actually did our SPF survey. So again, the second time in a row. We did one last year. We've done an updated one. So alongside that, we actually found that 70% of the UK feel that VAT should be removed from SPF products.
That is amazing.
So I guess, again, just supporting what you said, Kimberly, about that push and the drive that the government should be removing this from the list of products that have VAT, because it's a daily essential. It's a medical essential, not just obviously something that you buy and should have
preventative.
It shouldn't just be a desirable product. It literally should be, like you say, an essential everybody needs.
Yeah. And another one that's actually still crazy is that almost half of the UK, which is 45%, do not apply SPF daily / most days. I think it's interesting to kind of hear why they do that. And it's kind of a mix of maybe it is the VAT, that extra amount of money that they have to spend on it. It's does it not incorporate into their routine? Why is it not incorporated into routine? So I guess it's kind of our goal and our mission to push this messaging to our customers and beyond our customers.
I think there's that stereotype as well, like you said at the beginning of this, is that people think, I live in England, the UK, like it's cold all the time, I don't need to wear it and things. And obviously since even my education's, developed through working at FTF and all the campaigns and things that we've done around it and the educational pieces, is like I push that message onto family and friends as well. And then they push that message onto their extended family, extended friends, groups and things like that. And I think even if you can just educate one extra person, they can then, that it follows through and more education will be passed on and, it could save lives and things. It's definitely
definitely a generation thing as well, because obviously trying to get my dad to wear SPF then is a nightmare. But obviously, now sort of generation is more sort of understanding of the reasons why.
My dad works outside of like a lot. And he never wore it, only on holiday because, again, that stereotypical, the sun's UV rays are higher, that sort of thing. And he did end up getting skin cancer on his face.
Okay.
And then now he's like, okay, like I need to put it on. And even like sometimes as a male, they're like, I don't need skincare routines and all these things. But SPF is now something that he does incorporate into his daily life. And I just...
But it's a shame that it's had to take him to wear it.
He's had to sort of learn the hard way of having that scare to then realise how important it is and things to wear that, and he does wear it every day now, I think.
Okay, moving on.
Yes.
We're going to talk about a very controversial and prevalent topic in the industry at the minute, teen skincare.
Yes.
Okay, so I came across a study from one of our amazing brands, Pie Skincare. I don't know if either of you have seen the study.
I've seen it. It's shocking.
Scary.
just to put that out there.
Which we'll talk about. So from what I read of the study, for some time they were concerned about the rise in young people using skincare products. Which I think is across the board. Like a lot of skincare brands, a lot of skincare businesses like ourselves are very worried about this. Obviously seeing it all on social, in the media. So just a few of the stats that I found from reading through this study is 1 in 4 UK tweens aged 9 to 12 are using products packed with strong actives like retinol and AHAs.
Yeah, that scared me, especially the retinol thing. Somebody at that age does not need a retinol. The skin doesn't need what a retinol does for it. It's just ridiculous. It's like really scary stats.
I don't even know how they know what retinol is. Like,
I genuinely think that it comes from like
it's literally just social.
If they're following influencers, that are in the sort of mid 20s to 30s, even possibly older, that are incorporating it, they'll feel obliged, like, I want to have the same routine as them, and they'll save the pocket money or ask the parents. And if their parents aren't educated like on it, and the child's asked for this certain product and they've just bought it or got them it as a gift or anything like that, then that child's then using it and damaging the skin barrier. And it's so important that they have education on it as well. Or these influencers that are maybe need to be aware of the kind of audiences that they have and the education side on that side of things.
Yeah, I think it is the education, but I think it's also getting somebody at that age, an appropriate adult, to also explain to that tween basically the reasons why you don't need that. Just because this influencer's got it or your friend's got it or whatever is the reasons, and what damage it could actually do later on down the line. Because for me, anybody under the age of 18, unless they've started with anything to do with like acne or blemishes, they don't need any actives whatsoever in their skincare because the skin isn't developed enough to need it. You definitely don't need to, start putting on your AHAs, BHAs, and like you just said, Phoebe, it's just ruins the skin barrier, and then they have to start using other products to then obviously try and like rectify that. So it's quite scary, to be fair, and I think it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better, if I'm honest with you.
I agree.
Because obviously there's so much out there on social, and I think it's probably more so in females than males. I've got a nearly 12-year-old and he ain't got a Scooby-Doo, basically. I get him to use a gentle face wash every now and again when I notice a couple of like little spots coming in. And then afterwards he's like, oh yeah, if you wash your face, it does help a bit, doesn't it, Mum? But that's about it, basically. And then obviously SPF, one that's just a very gentle one for his skin. But apart from that, he doesn't need anything else at all.
And I guess it's playing on that point that you said about the parents. Obviously, of this age, they don't have their own money. So it is the parents that are giving them the money to or going and buying it for them. I actually found that 58% of tweens receive skincare as gifts.
Wow.
So I think as we progress in this amazing skincare industry where there is so much skincare out there and that cater to different skin concerns, I think it is that education from the parent side, especially as well, to kind of make sure that they're not using products that they don't need to. I know my mum, when I was probably around that age, she used to have this face scrub. And I was really like, I really want to use it. And I'd just take it off the side when I was in the bath. And my mum was like, no, you do not need it at all. But obviously not everyone's parents are going to be like that. If they really, really want this skincare product and they've seen it and they kind of sound like they know what they're talking about, the parent
might be like, they've done the research, like they know what they want and what they need and what's right for them, when in actual fact, maybe at 9 years old, you don't need anything, so why?
Exactly.
Well, 30 years ago, I was like 12. So basically in skincare for me, it was if I had a spot, I went to a supermarket and I got a face wash or, dare I say it, Clearasil, because that's what we're around at that time. Because you used to think, I'll just try this thing out. Or I think the main thing that was sort of the trend, probably, if you can say then, because we didn't have social, was put a bit of toothpaste on it. Obviously, none of it worked. It was just a thing that it's like, put a bit of toothpaste on and then it'll be right. It didn't. You just needed to just look after your skin, just have a nice, gentle wash. I didn't know about SPF at that age. My mum didn't. It was only when it was sunny that my mum would plaster myself or we went on holiday. But there wasn't as much research then as there is now. But so it is scary now because it is what people see on social, because it is there right in front of them, that if you use this is what you're going to look like. This is the celebrity you're going to look like. So-and-so is using this. So it is, it's scary, but again, education is just, that's all we can sort of do, really. Ask the skin experts, look at ingredients, do your research, and then everything will be fine.
Yeah, and I love that you said the toothpaste thing, because I literally tell anyone and everyone when I'm saying to them what they should be using. I was literally using toothpaste when I was growing up.
Sudocreme.
Don't get me started on that.
Those are just always just random things, weren't it? That you had, or like you'd look in your mum's cupboard, but hers is like a day and night moisturising, anti-aging. And I think you were still conscious of thinking, right, well, I don't need anti-aging, I'm 12, it's fine.
You're fine, Stick with something like CeraVe or Cetaphil, something nice and gentle. That's all that you need.
And kind of like, Kimberly, from your perspective as an expert, what age would you say that they should be sort of establishing a skincare routine?
For me, it's sort of only if they start with anything to do with like blemishes or anything, is that they need to sort of have like an actual skincare routine. Apart from that, they don't really need to do it until like the hormones sort of kick in, really, that you just need a gentle cleanser and an SPF or a moisturiser. That is it, really. Anything else that's sort of active is from 18 upwards.
I don't even think I started using anything active until maybe the last 2 years. So like sort of early 20s, 22.
But people are using a lot more makeup a lot younger now as well. So, you know, sometimes they do have to use a decent cleanser. So it could be as young as 12 and that's fine. But you just need to use something that cleanses the skin. Yeah, nice and gently.
Really rubs it properly.
Yeah.
To wrap it up,
Yes.
finally, I'm going to ask you both, is there anything new at Face the Future from either of your sides? Obviously, we all work in different aspects of the business. So, Kimberly, is there anything you want to highlight?
So for me, I have many sort of client stories, clinic stories. The clinic's been open 20 years. We've just celebrated our 20th birthday, which is fab. And obviously online's the 17th. So I've been in clinic and with FTF for 9 years. So I've got quite a lot of different stories throughout. But a few of them sort of that stick out for me is one of the most recent ones is I've had a client who's come in and literally her face was so red raw from her eyes everywhere. That I couldn't do the diagnosis for her, but I actually seeked out and helped her find someone that could in terms of going to a dermatologist. I phoned her up a couple of days later. She's got sorted. She got the diagnosis. She actually needs medication to actually get it to a level. And then she's going to come back to me to then obviously then progress from the rest of her skin journey. It doesn't mean if we can't help her straight away, but we know that then they've got trust in us. And obviously, for me, this is all that I obviously ever wanted to do is actually to help people in a certain way, whichever way sort of that is. But then I know that I can then help her further once obviously a diagnosis is done. And then also for me is many acne transformations over the years. Especially we have quite a lot of young guys in, so like 18, 19, seeing them when they come in to sort of like hunched over, sort of like really embarrassed, maybe coming in with the parents to sort of like, you know, after we've done like some skin peels at home, like skincare, to then walking out with the head held high with clear skin is just such a boost. Makes you feel like you've made a difference, but also their confidence has grown so much, and then they can educate then their friends. And it has like sort of like a ripple effect. So it is really, really nice. So for me, they're like the best things about working in this kind of industry, whether it's over the phone and helping someone with skincare or actually face to face, it really, really gives you a buzz.
And I think that's great to hear that obviously you do have boys and men coming in to see you, because obviously skincare and skin concerns, skin issues are across the board.
And so is all.
They're not just one gender. So
the
fact that they are coming in and you're kind of helping them on their skin journey, it is that rewarding feel that you
definitely
participated to someone's
and making them feel comfortable as well. Like I think it's a big thing for, you know, like obviously when I was a teen, like, you know, boys would be like, I'll do it myself, you know, I'll not get any help. And so the fact that they've taken those steps to get that education, the help and things, and how it's changed their life, then to have that level of confidence, like you're providing that for them. And I think that's so important and probably such a nice feeling for you to think,
definitely.
Oh my gosh, like, these teens are going to grow up. And
it can be a minefield, to be fair, can't it? I mean, what have we got? We've got over 180 brands. So, you know, again, this is why people sometimes end up using the wrong things, because it can be a minefield. So it's just obviously, you know, breaking it down really into it. And obviously you'll know more about that, obviously, with being the brand in the brand team. So
And Phoebe, what about you?
So we launched some exciting brands this year. We had a great start to the year. So in February, we launched Caudalie, which is a French brand.
Yeah, that's one I actually really like that one.
I know, we were so excited about Caudalie coming on board. So they're like a natural ingredients brand, mixed sort of with advanced skincare. They're very clean beauty, paraben free, and all of their sort of products are harnessed from grape extract, which you'll probably see like on the packaging. They've got like little grapes maybe, or some sort of grape-esque thing. So we launched Caudalie on the 3rd of Feb, and then The Ordinary on the 10th of March, which was super exciting. So they have such a huge, amazing range. Like they are so versatile. There's so many different products and serums and things like that for all different skin concerns. So I feel like they're very good, and they're so affordable.
Yeah, I want to say it's a very affordable
so
one.
Affordable, so it's good for people maybe starting to step into that skincare and maybe wanting to learn more about it and sort of try out new things and that sort of thing. And the science-backed, vegan, cruelty-free, and they have very effective ingredients. But then they also do like hair care, like hair serums and things. So because, you know, your skin is not just your face, you know, you've got to look after your body, you've got scalp, like all these other things. So I feel like The Ordinary is a very affordable, like good starter brand, and we're super excited to have them on board now. And I guess in regards to the pipeline, there is some brands, however, I'm going to keep it hush-hush so I don't get into trouble.
Keep it quiet.
Keep it quiet, but you've got to keep your eyes peeled and see what we've got in the pipeline. But yeah, super exciting year for us. Yeah.
Lovely. And then I guess just for me really quickly is obviously the podcast.
Yes.
We've grown this from nothing to we're now on episode 9.
Is it 9 already? Wow.
Already, yeah. So that's really exciting. Obviously building the studio after we moved to the new warehouse and buying all the equipment and then just having some really exciting guests that I've been able to meet and chat to and learn so much. Like
it's nice to see behind the brands, isn't it? Like we obviously in my role, like I speak to the brands all the time, but sometimes you don't actually get to hear from the founders. You work with their your account managers, that sort of thing, which is always amazing. But it's always nice to see where the brands came from, how they started, that sort of behind the scenes. Really, that's always the best part because you can see what all of this entails and what goes into brands and companies.
And there is so much, like you wouldn't even
you can't imagine, can you?
No. Well, thank you both for joining me.
It's okay.
Thanks for having me.
Let's have a little chit chat.
Yeah, come upstairs.
I get to see the upstairs.
And thank you guys for listening to another episode of Skincare and Beyond. You can find out more about our VAT Burn and our 365 days of SPF campaign on our website, and also we've been chatting about teen skincare, so you can shop teen skincare products on our site too. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time, and don't forget to subscribe and follow on your preferred channel. It really helps us out.
And share
and share
friends,
family.
Tell everybody.
Thanks guys.
Bye.